All right, so today we have this very special, very cool 2003 Terminator edition Mustang Cobra. It is number 601 of 5,082 units produced like this. It makes 550 wheel horsepower and is really, really cool. It's got a very custom interior, which we'll show you as a B-roll shot here in just a second. We're not doing anything super comprehensive to this, but what we are doing is critical. We're doing a little bit of corrective work specifically on the hood and on the trunk lid. This is a perfect example of owners with the best of intentions, with quite a bit of knowledge about car care, can still have the tendency to love their cars to death. Can we just say that? So this car was polished to perfection not a terribly long time ago, and has only about 50,000 miles on it. It's only been driven like 40, 50 miles since the last time it was polished, as far as I'm aware. But you'll also see in the insert shots, we have a lot of, as we call love marks. It looks to me like some stuff happened during the washing process, maybe. And so we are going to fix that today. This is Ford Black, which anybody who does a lot of polishing knows that Ford Black is, tends to be very soft, tends to be a little bit difficult to work with, tends to be a little bit difficult to smooth out imperfections and keep them that way. Or at least it's easy to reintroduce perfections. It's not so much that it's super difficult to polish. So I want to show you today just a little bit of corrective work on the hood and the trunk. We're going to keep it pretty simple, but just kind of get into some basic paint correction and that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to show you what we are doing today. I've got my sweet headgear here. We are completely indoors. Because we really need to be able to handle what we're doing without outside interference from dust, debris, that kind of thing. We've got a lot of lights going on in here, and so let's see what we can get done on this thing. At this moment, we don't have a crazy shopping list here. I am going to probably just use my 6-inch and my 3-inch. I've got some microfiber pads. I've got some foam finishing pads. I've got my GYEON Prep, which is really just alcohol-based panel prep. I've got my move in a little bit. I got my GRIOT'S fast correcting cream. For all intents and purposes, that was a compound. I got my GRIOT'S correcting cream, which is a little less aggressive. I might need to bust out a finishing polish here in a little bit. We shall see. I've got my pad brush and my special way of cleaning it, which we may or may not get into in this episode. And then I've got my 3-inch with a similar arrangement. These are Lake Country pads. This is a standard polishing pad. This is a very soft finishing pad that is a little bit discolored from some single stage paint that we did, but it is meticulously clean. And then we have I think this is a MAGUIAR'S microfiber finishing pad. I really, really like this for kind of doing final step work in a paint correction process. And then I have some brand new, very plush microfibers, just so I don't undo any of the work that I did with, some uninvited guests on my microfibers. These are Rag Company Everest 550s, I believe. If I'm wrong about that, I will make a correction when I edit this thing. Let's get started. Okay, so I have already panel prepped and cleaned this thing. I mean, so I'm not gonna really get into that today. This surface is perfectly clean and ready to polish. If you wanna punch in here just a little bit, maybe see if you can get some of these love marks. They're not bad, but they definitely stand out in the light. And for a car as prized as this is for the owner, we definitely want to take care of those. Currently, I am saddled up here with my GRIOT'S G21. This is a long throw. This is not going to be appropriate for the entire car, but it is going to be appropriate for this section of the car. This is probably my go-to daily driver. I know many of you are huge fans of Rupes. I have absolutely nothing against Rupes, but I always just got to be different, I guess. Some people like the 3 pea-sized drops. I like smaller drops, more evenly spaced. Whatever your stance on drops and dollops is absolutely the correct answer. Without further ado, let's get started. I like to kind of do a pretty good job spreading this out before I go, because I really, honestly, it just really frustrates me whenever I splatter polish. Okay, without even buffing this polish off, I can tell we have already made a fair amount of headway here. You know, I see a lot of people fold their microfibers into quadrants to be more economical on the real estate. Honestly, I would rather just be a little more wasteful and have to wash more microfibers. I tend to be a maybe fold once and a half kind of guy. I'm not big on those 50-50 shots. I'm not here for theatrics. I just want to make the car pretty, right? So I'm not going to go through the trouble to mask this off or anything like that. So let's take a closer look. What are we looking at? Obviously, this is black paint and we just cut it. So, you know, no surprise. We have a few holograms here that may not translate very well into the camera, but overall, that one pass got us much closer to where we wanted to be. I don't think that this is going to be a huge headache to get where we want it. You know, some people like to kind of refine each working space as they go. Myself, I kind of like to do my, you know, my rough correction of the entire panel, whatever that is, in this case the hood. And then come back through and do my second step or my third step or whatever the case may be.
Notice she won't die if she sneezes just right. Never wanna talk, beating all the fights. Wanna take a walk on the other side. Feeling really fly on her feet tonight. God is something good, now she Jesus Christ. Creeping up on her like she way too high. I'm about to take a walk on the other side. If the people at the party look away, it'd be easier to cover up the scene. Doesn't really matter what you do. She gon' have to get herself up off her knees. Everybody looking up to pray, hoping so that this won't be the week. She only ever wanted to be cool. She never thought that she was gonna freeze. Such a small mistake. She could take all the snowflakes and whoa. She got all the drugs she'll need tonight. Know that she won't die if she sneezes right. Never wanna talk, beating all the fights. Wanna take a walk on the other side. Feeling really fly on her feet tonight. God is something good, now she Jesus Christ. Creeping up on her that she way too high. About to take a walk on the other side. She could easily, so easily be great. If somebody could save her from herself, she just keep on running from the ghost. Right now it's the only thing that helps. Oh, I don't wanna let her down. I will kill to see her smile. One last time, just one last time. Such a small mistake. Didn't calculate how much she could take. All the snowflakes, whoa. She got all the drugs she'll need tonight. Know that she won't die if she sneezes right. Never wanna talk, beating all the fights. Wanna take a walk on the other side. Feeling really fly on her feet tonight. God is something good.
I would say, I mean, obviously the 3-inch is a much less powerful tool, but it gets into tighter spaces, especially without stalling, which is nice. You know, as you saw, you can kind of just like, you know, do like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater style, you know, trick a little bit, as long as you know how to leverage the pressure correctly so that it doesn't stall. so we have addressed most of the egregious defects that the owner has asked us to correct, and now we are just left with a little bit of hologramming or hazing. I imagine this is probably not going to come across in video super well, but you can kind of see it. It almost looks like there's still like a little bit of wax or polish on the surface, but that's not it. That's really just the leftover from being a little bit aggressive with the cutting stage of this. So now I've got my, I think this is a GRIOT'S perfecting pad. I'm not necessarily super loyal to this one. I do happen to like this one a lot. And then I've got my GRIOT'S perfecting cream on it, you know, which is very gentle, very mild, and is perfect for things like this. So we're gonna start with where we started in the beginning, on this front little part of the hood. You need to put the spurs to it all the time. You don't need to go number 6 on this, usually like 4 or so. And so, you know, as is typically standard with polishing process, most people go in a grid, up and down, side to side, whatever. If it's like a door panel, usually your vertical grid first, horizontal grid next. I tend to go a little lighter on the pressure during the finishing step on whatever it is I do second. I like to usually go horizontal first and then vertical. So I do horizontal with, you know, maybe 10 to 15 pounds of pressure if you think like that, and then maybe, you know, 50% less than that on the return visit. That tends to give you a better kind of finish down whatever, especially when you're in the late stages of a correction like this. Now let's stand back. I think that's exactly where we need to be. I'm pretty happy with that. No holograms. You know, there's definitely a little pitting in this paint from, you know, road debris or dust or whatever. This is a very dusty town. But I'm pretty happy with that. Looks like a mirror finish to me. It is the black that the client expects to see back, and we're gonna do that to the whole rest of the car. Not the whole rest of the car, the rest of the hood, the rest of the trunk lid. Unlike Tupac and R2, this hood has no holograms. Okay, same situation on this trunk lid. I mean, it looked about the same. I got some insert shots to show you all here in a little bit. You know, I don't have enough room behind me, so we had to ahead and open the bay door here for just a minute. All right, I can already tell that looks so much better. You know, but Patrick, aren't you going to mask off every sight line and body panel on this car before you polish two things? I mean, no, I'm not actually. If I needed to, I would. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be reckless about, you know, polishing trim or that kind of a thing. But, you know, I've polished a couple cars in my life, and, you know, sometimes I need to and sometimes I don't. In this particular case, we are just going to go commando. All right, this is gonna need probably just one quick pass with a finishing pad, maybe a combination of our perfecting cream and our standard correcting cream, kind of a little custom mix that threads the line somewhere in the middle. And then we'll come back up here and do the spoiler, but I'm pretty happy with that. I may come back through here with my 2-inch just to get that leading edge where the spoiler meets the deck lid, but honestly, it looks pretty good, so. All right, I came back to this one little spot here to chase a little hologram, but otherwise I'm very happy with the deck lid. I've already cut the spoiler. Now I'm just going to do a finishing polish to get rid of the little bit of hazing that I have. Try not to trip over my cord here. Kickflip ollie. This Cobra looks amazing again. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.